Hi, I'm Jamie Wright, middle school librarian, and I'm here to help you find your next great book. Today's episode features books told from multiple characters' viewpoints. First up is Because of Mr. Terupt by Rob Buyea. This is the first in a series, and it's realistic fiction about several students in a fifth grade class. The story takes place over the course of their fifth grade school year, with different chapters told by 7 different students, so you get to hear each event through the lenses of those different characters. One boy's a class clown, one girl is new, and she's a straight A student rule follower, and each person sees the different school projects and events differently, even if the facts are the same. Each character goes through different changes, some more at home and some more at school. This book was consistently selected as a favorite among student readers. Playing Through the Turnaround by Mylisa Larsen is a realistic fiction story set in middle school where 5 students get to know each other through jazz lab class. Their musicianship, confidence, and friendships grow until their teacher unexpectedly leaves in the middle of the year, and it turns out their class has been cut from the budget. They are very different people, so it's not clear if they can work together outside of the music room to restore the funding and save the class that means so much to them. Chapters and events are told through each of their different perspectives, and readers and band will especially appreciate the details in this book. Uprising by Margaret Peterson Haddix is a historical fiction story based on the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire. In real life, this tragedy prompted legislation to improve worker safety. The story is set in the early 1900s in New York, where many immigrants to the US settle and seek work. Bella is from Italy and brand new to English and the US, but her cousin helps her find a job sewing in a factory. Yetta, who escaped attacks against Jewish people in Russia, also works at the factory, and she's an activist who wants to protest for a workers' union to create better working conditions. Jane comes from a family with money, but she doesn't want the life her family is building for her, and she's curious about the young, hardworking women in town when she herself has so much. The story is told through each girl's point of view. Margaret Peterson Haddix is the author of the Among the Hidden series, as well as many other books, and she knows how to build suspense and weave in historical details while keeping the plot moving forward. A Whole Nother Story by Dr. Cuthbert Soup is a completely different kind of book. It's a comedy and a ridiculously silly road trip adventure. There's a family that's always on the run. The father invents all kinds of valuable things in search of a way to bring his wife back to life, and the 3 kids are used to changing their names and identities every time they move. There are government agents out to get them, and an evil villain with a monkey sidekick who has a pet goldfish. Plus, the family dog is psychic and warns the family of impending danger. There's just a lot happening in this story. It shifts between different character groups as everyone is chasing the family, and it uses a lot of clever wordplay and advanced vocabulary. It layers ridiculous jokes and recurring gags on top of even more ridiculous circumstances, but somehow it works. Even if you roll your eyes at the humor, you will not mind laughing all the way through it. The sequel is called Another Whole Nother Story. And finally, The Westing Game by Ellen Raskin, a mystery that won the Newbery Award in 1979. It is definitely a throwback, but it is delightfully complicated, especially if you love details that somehow weave together. And when you get to the end, you immediately want to reread it so you can look for all the clues along the way now that you know the ending. I really love complicated stories that involve lots of different components, and then you see how they all tie together. And this book does that really brilliantly. There are 16 heirs who are each given notes and invitations to move into a brand new luxury apartment building called Sunset Towers. Sam Westing, who is an eccentric millionaire, dies, and all 16 heirs are connected to him in some way. So they are all partnered up and challenged to solve a mystery in order to win the game and the inheritance. The point of view shifts between different characters, and their backgrounds and motivations are all very different and layered. So their suspicion of each other, because after all, one of them is a murderer, the will says so, and their approach to using the clues to solve the mystery tell a much broader story about people, ambition, and the way we interact with our families. It's a book so complicated and well constructed, it truly respects its readership. That's it for this episode of Book Talks, stories told from multiple viewpoints. If you're still looking for your next great book, please reach out to your librarian, and remember, a book is always a good idea.